Hello, Bibliophiles. My name is Tanvi Dikshit and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you for all the support you've been showing for my channel. Before I begin this video, please go and hit the subscribe button so that you'll get notified whenever I post my next book video. For today's video, I am going to be talking about Sally Rooney's latest novel, Intermezzo. Now, before we get into the review, let me give you a little bit of overview about the author Sally Rooney. Sally Rooney is an Irish novelist as well as screenwriter. She's 33 years old and up until now she's already published 4 novels. Her first novel was Conversations with Friends, followed by Normal People, followed by Beautiful World, Where Are You? And finally her latest release, Intermezzo. 2 of her novels, Conversations with Friends and Normal People, have already been adapted into TV shows, so you can actually watch them as limited series if you're interested. Now, the word intermezzo literally means a short connecting movement in an opera or any other musical work. Before we get into the novel, let me first start off by talking about Sally Rooney's writing style. According to me, what sets Sally Rooney apart from all the other authors is her very typical writing style. It probably comes from the fact that she's a screenwriter and that kind of translates into her novels as well. But she has a very peculiar style of writing. Her novels contain very descriptive prose interspersed with conversations. Now, the prose and dialogues kind of blend into each other very seamlessly, but the conversations are written in a very different kind of a linguistic style. For example, there are no punctuations used. A lot of sentences are like a single word or 2 words or 3 words. I'm going to read out a few sentences for you just to get an idea, but it's a very different style of writing. For example, if you're reading a paragraph, you don't really know if it's a description of a scenario, if it's the thought process going on in somebody's head, or is it a person actually saying this aloud to somebody else. So for somebody who's totally new to Sally's writing style, it might take the first 40 or 50 pages for you to get used to it. So I'm a part of this book club where we were actually reading Intermezzo as the book of the month, and I remember in the first week there were a bunch of people who were writing on the group that, okay, I'm like 50 pages into the book and I'm really not understanding what's going on here. Is anybody else feeling that way? So this is a warning. Doesn't matter any of Sally Rooney's work, whether it's Normal People or Intermezzo, you will take a significant amount of time to get used to her writing style. So first couple of chapters are kind of going to be a drag, but push through it, because once you kind of get used to her writing style, you get engaged, you get absorbed, then there is no putting this book down, because she spins her stories so beautifully. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but she reminds me a lot of Murakami's writing style. The way her prose passages are so beautifully descriptive is very similar to Murakami. She also reflects a lot of Murakami's problematic aspects, but we'll talk about those later. The book is about 437 pages long. The book is divided into 3 parts, part 1, part 2 and part 3. But to be very honest, I don't really see the need to divide the book into parts because nothing really changes. Like, the book story just goes on the way it is, so I don't really see why she's divided it into 3 parts, but whatever. Coming to the plot of the book and the main characters, Intermezzo narrates the story of 2 brothers, Peter and Ivan. Peter is the older brother. He's a successful lawyer. He's good looking, he has a great social life, he's rich, he's intelligent, he's doing great professionally, he has lots of women around him. He quintessentially fits into like the cool guy that you consider in the society. Ivan, on the other hand, is his younger brother. Peter is about 32, 33. Ivan, on the other hand, is about 23 years old. He is a chess prodigy, extremely smart but very socially awkward, does not understand how to conduct himself in social situations, doesn't have girlfriends. He's kind of an oddball when you consider what is supposed to be normal in terms of society. And then come both their love interests. So with Peter, you have Sylvia and Naomi. Sylvia is about Peter's age. She's a college professor. She's an intellectual. She is just the right woman for Peter. Naomi, on the other hand, is a college student, about 22, 23 years old. She's completely broke. gets high, has an OnlyFans page, depends on Peter to pay all her bills. Extremely complicated. So while Peter is trying to juggle his relationship with these two women, Ivan falls in love with Margaret, who is 36, a very strong, beautiful, smart, intelligent woman. And the whole novel basically explores the relationship between Peter and Ivan. This love hate sort of relationship between the two brothers is kind of explored against the backdrop of their individual romantic lives. And towards the end of the novel, their relationship kind of undergoes a transformation. What I really love is you'll find so many novels talking about relationships between, basically romantic relationships between two partners, or relationships between a mother and daughter or father and son, all of that, right? There are very few novels which are completely centered around exploring a relationship between two brothers. And I really enjoyed the fact that it kind of takes you around all the highs and lows of the relationship shared by these two siblings. Coming to the characters, what I genuinely enjoyed is how layered all the characters are. If you have to ask me to pick a favorite, my favorite would be Peter. His character is, if you know me, you know that in literature, I love characters that are layered. I love characters that are complicated, that have so much depth in them that you have to kind of keep peeling off all the layers till the end of the story. You never feel like you really know them completely, and Peter is that character. So I really enjoyed reading Peter. His character is very dark. Like he has all of these thoughts about the pointlessness of existence. He feels like he wants to kill himself so many times. He's gone through a lot of trauma in his life. He's just struggling with so many different things in his head, and you kind of feel, you sympathize with him, you kind of go with him in all of his struggles. Ivan, on the other hand, is this innocent little child. He is also a little problematic in a certain way, but he's also this like innocent person who doesn't really know a lot about the world, who's kind of just, getting into the grown-up stage of his life. And he's so adorable, the way he falls in love with Margaret, the way he is with his relationship between him and his dog, and like all of that is just so beautiful. So Ivan has to be my second favorite character. Even the love interests have been depicted in a very nice way. Just to give you guys an example of Sally Rooney's writing style, I'm going to read out just a little bit of a paragraph to you guys, just so you understand how she writes. All very well as far as it goes. The question of constitutionality arises, and so on. Couldn't go to work in the morning if he didn't think something meant something else. But what is it all leading up to? An end without an ending. The man helps Sylvia into her coat as Peter looks on. Calmer now, attuned to the quieter feelings. Under what conditions is life endurable? She ought to know. Ask her. Don't. So you get the idea of what I'm saying. It's a very different, unique style of writing. These really shorter sentences, like ask her is one sentence, don't is another sentence. So yeah, that's the way she kind of writes. But yeah, it's really nice. It keeps you interested. So, very similar to Murakami novels, there are thoughts that Sally writes in her prose sections, in the way her characters think, things that really hit you, things that are really thought-provoking. They make you stop and think about these ideas that are existent in the society. I'm going to read one such thing which stayed with me. So Ivan is a 23-year-old, as I told you, who's in love with a 36-year-old woman, Margaret. And when he tells Peter about his relationship with Margaret, Peter kind of judges him. Peter says that no normal 36-year-old woman would date a 23-year-old boy like you. And that's when Ivan starts thinking about this whole concept of normalcy, what is considered to be normal in the society. And that has been written in a very interesting way. Do you think a normal woman? Peter said, as if the idea were laughable. But Margaret is, whatever Peter might think or say, in fact, a normal woman. Even if she weren't, it wouldn't matter to Ivan, since unlike his brother, he doesn't assign an idiotically high, practically moral degree of value to the concept of normality, which, phrased in another way, means conformity with the dominant culture. Conformity with the dominant culture, that's really what normalcy is, right? Like, who decides what is normal, what is not normal, what is correct, what is wrong? It's the existent dominant culture that tells you wearing a certain thing is okay, dating a certain person is okay, eating a certain food is okay or not. And it's really, when you think about it, there's nothing normal or abnormal in this world. It's all what the so called culture and society tells you that this is supposed to be normal. It's a very interesting point of view. It'll make you think. Okay, another very interesting paragraph, page 186. Now, I am somebody who thinks a lot about the concept of religion and how it originated in our society and how much it impacts our life. And is it really good or bad for the world? So, there's a very interesting extract here that talks about religion that kind of resonates a lot with how I look at religion as well. I'm going to read that out for you guys. It does put a question mark over the whole thing, the way people can get sick and God does nothing to help them. Yes, she thinks. Yes, it does. To remember that God is not the nice man Jesus, who liked everybody and went around healing the sick. That God is, on the contrary, the one who makes people sick, who condemns people to death for incomprehensible reasons. Jesus, the healer, the listener, the teacher, friend of sinners, seems in Margaret's mind to be practically on the brink of murmuring, "Sorry about my dad." Jesus is easy to love and God much harder. Jesus also has his own reality, his place in history, whereas God is like a dim point of light in a dark room, visible only as long as you don't try to look directly. And that just makes so much sense. Like, God is such a indefinable, unexplainable concept. We have all of these written, like these gods who have been written in scripture, such as your Jesus, who are like the good guys, and they're very easy to explain. But when you actually think about the concept of God, what is God really? Is God really helping you? Is God really taking care of you? Do we really need to believe in the concept of God, or are we just trying to fool ourselves and pacify ourselves by, believing in this non-existent concept? So there were a lot of points like these in the book where I stopped. Like, you can see how many pages I've dog-eared. So there were so many points where I just like stopped. And I was like, whoa, like I need to think about this for a second longer. I love that. I love it when a book does it. So these were the things that I really enjoyed about the book. Coming to the things that I did not enjoy so much. First things first, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the writing style. The first few chapters, even for me, like I've read Normal People, I'm familiar with her writing style. Even for me, it was kind of a drag, honestly. Like the first couple of chapters, I was not invested in the novel at all. I'm just like, okay, when does it get interesting? So that kind of me was a downer, because if, let's say, somebody is not like a voracious reader, somebody who has, let's say, picked up a book after a really long time, they would kind of lose interest and not want to read it further. So that was kind of a downer for me. Second things, her writing style is very, very, very similar to Haruki Murakami's, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing both. Good because it's beautifully descriptive, you really enjoy those parts. But there are also many problematic parts, just in terms of the way Murakami describes women, which is quite problematic. She does it in a very similar way. And it's surprising because coming from a woman, it should not be the case. So, for example, whenever there is a description given of any scene, the women like Margaret, Sylvia, Naomi are described in a very physically objectifying way, like in the sense a lot of their physical characteristics of how their skin is, how their body is, how their hair is, how their breasts are, will be described in a lot of detail. But at the same time, the same kind of detail, physical detail, is not given about Peter or Ivan, which is, I mean, if you're describing your women physically, you also should describe your men physically in the same way as well. Otherwise, it just becomes objectification of women. So that's one of the few problematic things that I felt. Also, another thing is that this is one of those books that is going to leave you with a feeling that is gloomy. You know, if you're looking for a feel-good read, this is not it at all. The feeling that I was left with after I finished the book was kind of unsettled, I want to say. Another friend of mine told me she felt gloomy after reading this book. So yeah, it's not very happy, okay? And last but not the least, my biggest criticism on the book, okay? Now, towards the end of the book, I will of course not spoil the end for you guys, but I feel like the book ended at the same place where it began. Like, Peter and Ivan's characters go through these journeys, especially Peter's character, but the point where the story ends, it's kind of like I felt like he was in the same place that he was in the beginning of the book. And that kind of is very hard for me to digest because I invested close to 400 pages in reading about this character's journey, and I don't want that character to end up at the same place where he is. Things are kind of explained in a very simplistic, idealistic way at the end of the novel, which does not really work in the real world. So that was kind of a thing that I hated about this book. So that was Sally Rooney's Intermezzo for me. This book gets a 7 on 10 from me. I preferred Normal People over Intermezzo. If you're reading this as well, leave a comment, let me know. I would love to discuss what you guys felt about this book. And yes, I will be back with another book review. Until then, please, please, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you get notified, and it will really help my channel if you subscribe. Happy reading!